Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Yahweh is to this world ignorantly caused God. Yahushai is to this world ignorantly caused Jesus. Ba'ashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kwadash means holy. And that's on the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's lesson, I wanted to go into that Hurricane Helene. Hurricane Helene and a Hurricane Milton, going into how the Lord is bringing judgment upon this earth, okay, and how it looks. This Hurricane Milton is Category 5 right now. Let's see it alive and see where it's at right now. Hurricane Milton, New York Times. I think Google has like a tracker. Let's see what's happening right now. Milton regains Category 5 strength as it plows toward Tampa. The storm's winds climbed back to 165 miles per hour after weakening slightly for several hours. Gas pumps across Florida ran low as fleeing residents jammed highways. And a scripture that came to my mind right now, just thinking about this, in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3, it says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Going into the judgment that's coming upon this place. These people, a majority of them, were living their life, working their 9 to 5s, going after their wickedness, just in the folly of the world. Okay, and here it is, literally overnight, Category 5 hurricane, coming to a city near you. You gotta evacuate. Your house is about to be taken. If you stay there, you are going to die. And it's insane, but it's also beautiful because these are the signs, these are the tokens that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai told us that were going to come upon the earth. So right now it's 440 miles from Tampa with 165 mile per hour winds. Okay, that's insane. Category 5 is the highest pretty much of the spectrum. But I have these videos here too, which point to the fact that these hurricanes are controlled, because Esau actually has the technology. Okay, Esau actually has
FEMA's mission is to prepare
to engineer hurricanes. So I'm gonna play 2 videos real quick, bring out the patent, and then we'll keep going to the scriptures and the news.
You guys ever heard of programming? It's kind of like a thing where they show you on TV what's going to go on, and then later, sometime in the future, it actually happens. This is House of Cards, Season 3, Episode 8. How strong will it be when it hits?
Simulators say Cat 3, possibly Cat 4. Major devastation across a dozen states.
Yes, but some of these projections have it turning back to sea.
It's highly unlikely, sir.
Sir, FEMA's mission is to prepare for the worst. The disaster relief fund has been depleted by a third since you launched AMWorks. Still leaves $2 billion. For this storm, we need 4 times that.
Francis.
Where's the next landfall?
It didn't work. The hurricane turned.
It's due east now. It might hit Bermuda.
I know, right? You cannot make this stuff up. So what we have right now is a hurricane building off of the west side of Florida and the Gulf Coast. Well, now I showed you guys how to make this stuff up. So what we have right now is
Hurricane turned.
It's due east now. It might.
The trajectory of the hurricane, it's the same trajectory as Hurricane Milton. Let's search it up. Hurricane Milton trajectory. There you go. The same way going through Florida to the east is the same way it was in that show. But it just might be a coincidence. We'll see. Let's keep looking at the information.
Might hit Bermuda.
I know, right? You cannot make this stuff up. So what we have right now is a hurricane building off of the west side of Florida and the Gulf Coast. Well, now I showed you guys a picture in the last video where there was 3 hurricanes forming on the east side of Florida. All of a sudden, this one pops up in the Gulf of Mexico, highly suspect. And I'll let you guys know that the hurricane that they were referencing during the show was supposedly Hurricane Helene in 1958. I mean, come on now. So another thing that I find very highly suspect and coincidental is the name of the storm. The storm's name is Milton. If you guys don't know about John Milton, he was a poet back in the 1600s. John Milton.
According to Google Books, John Milton was an English writer of poetry and prose during times of war, religious change, and political upheaval in England. ...
In times of war, political change, and upheaval. ... Look around, folks.
So, coincidence or not, Let's get another video.
It's the personal price plan.
And now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
They did not get into this discussion,
No.
though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really? To change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning. Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong. Governments have been playing with this thing.
Alleged to.
Alleged to, right.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're bringing in the laws of physics rather than simply waving our hands and uttering mumbo-jumbo. We're actually using trillion-watt lasers now, and in the laboratory, sure enough, they precipitate rain out of water vapor. Sure enough, you can actually bring down electricity down the beam.
So what does it mean for drought areas that need to have rain for crops, and if they don't have them, there's the consequences of famine?
Well, the bad news is, if it's a clear blue sky, it's not going to do anything at all, because it only takes water vapor that's already in the air and condenses it. However, for floods, for agriculture, farmers, for people planning wedding parties, football games, you name it, outdoor events in agriculture and flooding and even hurricanes, all of them could be subject to weather modification.
Right, and right there he said at the end, even hurricanes can be subject to weather modification. And that's exactly what they're doing, man. Okay, that's exactly what they're doing with this Hurricane Milton. And they've amplified this hurricane to just go absolutely through Florida and destroy it. Right? Bring chaos upon this place. Because something I saw actually the other day was that Tampa was looking to introduce 15-minute cities. Right? 15-minute cities, which is part of the elite's plan. Okay, to keep people in the cities locked in, right? Gridlock, right? Tampa FL 15-minute city from ChatGPT. Tampa, Florida is exploring. Let's get it on Twitter here. It says, yes, Tampa, Florida is working to become a 15-minute city through its Tampa Moves plan, a citywide mobility plan that aims to reduce the average commute time to 15 minutes or less. The plan also seeks to have half of all commuters walk, bike, or take public transit. Right, and the reason they want to have 15-minute cities is to pretty much take away people's cars, right? And they're gonna push it by the means of, oh, we got to reduce the carbon emissions from the cars, right? And then eventually they're gonna start charging you, right, for using your car outside of the 15-minute city. You got to pay a tax or a fee for using your own car, right? So that's where it's headed. And the fact that a Hurricane Milton is going straight towards Tampa, literally straight towards Tampa, okay, if what I'm putting the pieces together is that they want to completely demolish Tampa to bring those 15-minute cities, right? That makes the most sense. So, the brother posted the scripture here at the bottom. Henry Daily 1255 says 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right, and that's exactly what I'm talking about right now. Right, Satan, okay, which is talking about these Edomites, okay, the physical incarnation of Satan, the wicked. We're not ignorant of their devices. Right, we know that they have the technology to do this, and we know their motives. Okay, and when you look at the evidence and where everything is pointing to, it's pointing into this hurricane is made up. So I want to get a patent here. So I searched up hurricane and tornado control device. Now, this was filed in 2001, right? And that guy even said it 9 years ago, right? They were already talking about this. They already had the technology, right? But this was published in 2003. When you go into it, right, it's a United States patent application going into a hurricane and tornado control device. Okay, and they pretty much explain how it works. Right, so this right here shows you that the government is aware, okay, of these types of devices, right, and they have the technology, okay, they have the technology to modify hurricanes, create hurricanes. So, the proof is in the pudding. Look at this right here. So, let's get a scripture. This was supposed to be a quick video. This is Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 2. It says, "Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and a strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand." Right, and I brought this out to go into how the Lord is the one ultimately behind all these hurricanes and tornadoes. Even though he has the Edomites, the wicked, controlling the weather to do it, okay, he is the one controlling them, right? Which at the end of the day, a judgment is coming down, right? So whether literally everything that happens in the world is from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? He just has different means to do things. So I just wanted to touch on that. The Lord is the one in control. Okay, and one thing about the Lord is that it says in Second Ezra that as a flood, right, as a drop compared to a flood, many that perish. Second Ezra chapter 16, Second Ezra chapter 9, and verse 15 it says, "I have said before, and now do speak. I will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Like as a wave is greater than a drop." Right, so that goes into how much death is going to be happening in these days as we get closer and closer to the return of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right, death, destruction, right, famine, pestilence, war, earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, right, all these things are going to start intensifying, and all that is going to bring death upon this place. Right, people are going to start bugging out more and more, as it says in the scripture, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right, and iniquity goes into sin upon sin. Right, the more these people become bugged out, the less these people are going to be in that lovey-dovey spirit. The less they're going to stretch out their hand to help you. Right, people are going to be worrying about themselves, their families, and that's it. Okay, so this is the beginning. Right, as Ezra says, the beginning of woes. Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, and then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." Right, so we're supposed to measure the times diligently. Right, and the way you measure the times is by using the prophecies. Right, we know that for this prophecy to happen, this one has to happen. Right, for the nuclear bombs to go down in America, the chip has to be made mandatory first. Right, so that's how we measure the times. Right, and right now we're seeing hurricanes, we're seeing uproars of the people. Okay, that's exactly what Yahweh Shai said was going to come on the earth. Right, let's get it real quick. In Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6 it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." Right, so everything he just listed is just the beginning. Right, it's only going to get worse from there. So going back to 2 Ezra chapter 9, it says that when these things shall come to pass, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is bringing judgment on this place. "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Right? So, hey, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we're getting towards the end of his movie, right? The grand finale, the climax. Okay, as it says, a time like never before seen. This is about to be the big drop. Okay, the big drop. And the key point is it says that, hey, those that are gonna be saved, you gotta escape by your works and by your faith. Right? That's how you're gonna make it, is faith and works together. Also, those people, which is talking about the elect, shall be preserved from the said perils that come upon this place, and we're going to see his salvation. Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. So, hey, all those brothers, hey, GMS Tampa, right? Hey, may Yahweh Bashim Yahushai protect those brothers out there doing the work, and the elect members out there doing the work. And, hey, I'm just sending out a prayer. But just know yourself that the Lord got you, right? If you've been doing the work, been diligent, you ain't got nothing to worry about if you had to evacuate, right? If you're gonna miss work for a couple days because of the hurricane, you ain't got nothing to worry about, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai always makes provision. So I'll leave it at that. A Hurricane Milton looks like a controlled event, but hopefully it was edifying with that, and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rokakodash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.